Next up is Aaron from the SaaS Accelerator. You're in great hands here if you're looking to build a thriving and profitable Facebook community or reinvigorate the one you already have that might be slowly dying. You'll walk away from this session knowing how to get your first 1,000 members and how to predictably generate leads on the regular from there. Aaron, the stage is yours.
Hi, my name is Aaron Crowell, and welcome to this training, the step-by-step guide to creating a world-class Facebook community. I'm really excited to be here with you today. Today, you're going to learn how to grow a Facebook group that positions you as the expert, leads to more sales, and builds a tribe, builds your tribe for you. So this is a good fit for you if you have a Facebook group already, or if you don't and you're thinking of getting one and not sure if it's a fit for you. I'm going to kind of lay everything out and give you a step-by-step process for how to make this happen, okay? So first of all, this is for you if, first of all, no one knows who you are and you want to be recognized as the expert in your field or your area or your market. When I started my Facebook group, which I'll show you in a second, I didn't know anyone in the industry, and frankly, I didn't even know what the industry was technically. Like, I kind of knew what the people I was going after. I knew the market a little bit, but I didn't know anybody in the field. I wasn't an expert. I didn't know anything about software. But when I created the group, it immediately established me as the expert. I'm going to show you how to do that. If you want to build your own pond of prospects and with an irresistible offer that almost no one says no to. So if you've kind of are tired of doing the same things as everyone else and competing against a bunch of people and having competitors run ads against you, and you want your own pond of prospects that you can draw from anytime, this is going to be for you. And also, if you want a place to test your messaging, you want to test ideas that you can scale without worrying if they're not going to work. So if you want to test a new idea, a new offer, a lead magnet, anything that you want, creating your own Facebook group gives you a pond, an area for you to test all that stuff out with little to no risk, and it doesn't really cost you anything, okay? So what would it be like for you, if you just imagine for a second, what would it be like for you to be able to establish yourself as the go-to expert in any industry, even if you have no experience, results, testimonials, or case studies, okay? This is a little bit dangerous. So, I mean, you could create a group and position yourself as the expert and not have any experience at all, which is what I did. But I became the expert in the field by creating a community of people that I could talk to. So if you're already an expert, great. And if you're not, and you want to be established as the expert, then this is a great way to do it. Imagine being able to approach any prospect cold and have them say yes to an offer that they're desperate to have, okay? Instead of getting emails from people saying, no, not interested, or please leave me alone. Imagine getting just a really high open rate and then also extremely high response rate of people accepting your offer. And then imagine having your own pond of prospects, leads, future employees that you can use to promote and test anything you want anytime without spending a dime. Okay, just imagine what it would be like, what kind of difference would it make in your business to be able to have all of these things. So just a little quick story. This is my life story in less than 2 hours. I'm just kidding. It's going to be really quick. My name is Aaron Crowell. I built the largest Facebook community in the world for SaaS founders. It currently has over 25,000 members. I've earned over $1 million from my group without paid ads. And also, I am an Eagle Scout, and I hold library cards at 3 different libraries. So that's why you should listen to me. Here's my group. You can see group by Aaron S. Crowell, SaaS Growth Hacks, private. It says 24,500 members. This screenshot was taken a little while ago, so it may not be totally accurate. There may be more there now. And I also have a screenshot of my ClickBank, because I think that's what you're supposed to do when you're establishing trust, is show people your ClickBank. I had one sale a long time ago. So it doesn't really add anything, but I thought you'd want to see that just in case. Okay, so here's some proof that my group is valuable. I get comments like this all the time from people. They're saying, thank you for putting this group together. It's the best community on the planet. This is the best group I've ever been to. I constantly have people coming up to me and saying, at conferences, I have them recognizing me. I get asked to speak at different conferences. I get asked to be on dozens of podcasts. because I'm established as the expert and because the group is so quality. So here's what you're going to get today. I'm going to show you how to start a community that people want to join, how to get your first 1,000 members, the secret to getting members to engage and be active in your community, and how to generate leads from your group from day one, even if you have no one in the group, how to start generating leads, okay? So the first thing that you want to know about building a group is that you want to build around a PPO. Now, PPO is a pain, a passion, or an outcome, okay? It's a pain, a passion, or an outcome. So I'll give you an example. So first of all, what you want to do when you're building a group is you want to figure out who do you want to attract? Who's your dream customer, okay? You really have to know who they are in order for you to build a group around them. Okay, so it's going to be so much more challenging if you try to build a really broad group and then try to get members in, because you're not going to know really who you're going after. And so for me, I created a group around SaaS founders, okay, because that was something they're passionate about. It's also a niche. That's the niche I wanted to go after. I could have done it around growth hacks, but again, that's not specific enough for me because I wanted to only do software founders. So I did SaaS growth hacks, and that kind of narrowed it down to only SaaS companies and how to grow, okay? So, but when you're starting a group, you want to ask yourself these questions. Who do you want to attract? Who is your dream customer? What is the niche that they identify with? So if it's Shopify sellers, Amazon sellers, what is their passion? Do they want to become, build a business without much time, spending only 4 hours a week in it? And what is the outcome do they want? They want 7 figures? Do they want to sell? Do they want to be acquired? So answer those questions and then build a group around one of those things, okay? And the third question you want to ask is, after you've identified all these things, are they accessible, okay? So if you're building a Facebook group around, astronauts, it's going to be really, really hard to go find astronauts somewhere, right? Like, where to even start with identifying where they congregate or who they are, or how to get in contact with them, and there's so few of them, right? So maybe that might not be a very good market. So look at your market after you've identified the passion or outcome, niche, or the pain, and then figure out if they're accessible, okay? And one of the big mistakes I see is people making groups around their product or service, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're building a group around your product and service, that's fine, but the goal should be different than if you're creating a group as a lead gen and as a positioning tool. All right, so let me give you an example. So here's some ideas for no on how to build a group, and then yes, ideas for what you should name your group. Let's say your company is called LinkedIn Booster, okay? So don't call your company LinkedIn Booster. We love LinkedIn Booster Group and Support. What you're doing is creating essentially a community for customers to get support when they have questions, okay? What you don't want is new leads coming into a group where people are saying, hey, LinkedIn Booster's down. Does anybody know why? Or, hey, I haven't been able to get a hold of LinkedIn Booster support. Are they still around? Are they still in business? Okay, you don't want those messages in the same group as people who are trying to, who you're trying to promote and establish an authority, okay? So instead, what is the outcome that LinkedIn Booster customers want? Well, it could be they want B2B sales strategies. They associate themselves with 7-figure closers, right? The outcome that they want is better cold outreach. So cold outreach mastermind. What you're going to do is you're going to bring in all these people that want this specific result or a pain or the niche that they associate with. And then when they see it, they know that group is for them, okay? A few examples, and these are really, really good groups. If you look these up on Facebook and join these groups, you're gonna get a huge amount of value just by joining them and watching them how they do this. This is Amazon FBA High Rollers, E-commerce Strategies, Tactics, and Discussions. See how specific that is, right? Now, you don't see anything about the product in this Facebook group. All you see is the niche and also some of the outcomes. Tactics, discussions, etc. Shopify beginner community calls out the niche. Okay, it's what they're passionate about. I'm a Shopify beginner, and this is the place for me. Okay, public relations professionals. Again, that's a very specific niche, and if I'm passionate about public relations, then this is a place that I would be drawn to. Okay, and then here's another one: 7-figure selling secrets. So again, this is a outcome. 7-figure selling secrets. It has nothing to do with it, the person behind this group. I know what this group does. What they do is they provide done for you sales hiring, right? So their product is all about providing people with salespeople to sell their products, but doesn't say anything about that in here. This whole group is around becoming a better salesman. And once you get into the group, then you get kind of indoctrinated. You get to see what it is they're selling. Okay, so, and here's one more, Mojo, $1 million offer Mojo. This is a little bit different. If you have a chance, if you to follow any of these groups, I would suggest following $1 million offer Mojo, because the Travis Sago, the owner of this group, is the master at creating groups and monetizing groups. And if you just, if all you did was follow his process that you went when you went into this group, first of all, hire him, okay, because he knows how to build groups. I have no commission from this or anything. He's a really, really good guy. And a lot of the stuff that I teach comes from him. I've just adapted it. But again, these are all groups that I would join and watch. Okay, so that's the first thing. Name your group around a pain product, pain, passion, or outcome. Okay. Next thing is you want to find congregation points. These are places where your ideal customer is hanging out. Okay. So when I built my SaaS Growth Hacks group 5 years ago, I just bought a list of SaaS founders. Went online and I typed in SaaS founder list, email list. I bought it and I just started cold emailing them. Okay. And if you're not that lucky, if you can't easily find a list, I would be really surprised if you couldn't find a list of the people that you're trying to approach and your ideal customers. But if you couldn't, you did, for some reason you typed into Google email list of ... you can use all these other ones. You can do LinkedIn Sales Navigator and a tool called ClickedIn, which allows you to automate all this. You can run Facebook ads. You can go into communities. I'll talk about this in a second. You can look for content. You can create your Dream 100 list, which is looking at who are the 100 people or partners or whatever that you would want to join your group, and then just go after them one by one. And then in your emails and your social profiles, everything, add an invite to all your social profiles to join the XYZ free community. Okay, so those are just some ideas. Really, if you've done a good job with step one, which is identifying your dream customer and knowing who they are, it should be easy to find these people. Okay, and here's the email. I'm going to show you next the email that I used to build my group from scratch. Okay, and all I used was a tool called Mailshake, and I sent out this email. I tested different subject lines. Said, hey, name, I put together a group for SaaS professionals. It's a private group to discuss effective marketing strategies. I'm reaching out to some of the top players in the world to see if they'd like to join. Would you like to be a part of it? Cheers, Aaron. So just copy this template and take your ideal customer and replace it with them. I put together a list of Shopify owners or e-commerce people or FBA, whatever, a private group to discuss what's working in the FBA market, how to sell more, what are their 3 biggest outcomes that they want, right? They want to sell more stuff. They want to spend more time with their family. They want to do XYZ. And then what I did was I responded to each person if they responded yes. So I started a conversation. You notice here, I don't put the link to the Facebook community. I started a conversation because what I wanted to do was find out what objections they had. I wanted to see if people were actually engaging with the email. I wanted to start conversations. And so do that when you're starting it. You can eventually scale it out and eventually put the link in. But for now, just start a conversation. Just trust me on this one. It's going to be some work, but it's going to be worth it later once you start getting responses. Okay. Another thing that I would suggest is just type in the best online communities for whatever your topic is, and then approach those group owners and say, hey, I just created a group. I noticed it's not in this list. I've already created a description of this group. Can I send it to you so you can put it in your article and update your article so that it's from today, from whatever the date is. So they get to update their article, they get new content, and they don't have to do anything really except just paste it in there. Okay, a lot of blog writers and people will do that if you do all the work for them. Okay, here's one that I was featured in. It was just, the name of this article was the best SaaS communities to join, and you can see this was a little bit different. And I don't know how many members I had at this stage, but I know it wasn't very many. It was probably in the couple thousand. You can see even the image has changed since then. So I got a lot of traffic from this. All right, so now that you're starting to grow your group, right, you're getting a few hundred members, you're probably not going to notice too much engagement until you get to the 400 to 600 member range, okay? But that's great because as you're starting off slow, you can do this, what I call VIP engagement. And that is really giving everyone that joins the group a VIP experience. And that's what's going to make them stick around even if there's no interaction yet. Because at 100 members, there's not going to really be a lot of interaction, okay? It's not going to be something that people are going to think to go to when they have a question because they're not going to get answers really quickly. So you have to be the one to kind of carry the load for a while, right? And here's some things that I did initially when I got my group going that really had a huge impact and got people to stick around. One is I welcomed every single person into the group with a personal Facebook message. Said, hey, Joe, so good to have you in the group. Would you mind posting your product, your service, whatever it is that you do in the group and tell people about what you do? I'd love to hear you. Love to introduce you to the group. Do shout outs for new members. I would grab new members. I would take their picture from Facebook, and I would just say, hey, welcome Joe to the group. So good to have you. Joe does this, this, and this. Reach out to him, okay? If somebody posted something in the group and I knew another member that could help them, I would tag them. And when somebody answered a question, I would go in and I would Facebook message that person individually, and I would say, hey, Aaron here from SaaS Growth X founder. Just want to let you know, I really appreciate you going in and answering these questions. The engagement, what you provide in the community is extremely valuable, and I really appreciate it. In fact, I actually went out and sent out physical letters to people that were really engaging with the group and a little gift. And I said, thank you for engaging with the group and being a part of it. I really appreciate it. Those are the kind of things that'll make people stick around. And initially you can do that, but as the group grows, you won't be able to. So do this now to keep members in, okay? A couple of don'ts. Don't post a bunch of articles. I'm going to show you what to post in a second, but don't go in and start posting a bunch of articles. Don't turn on admin post approval. Let anyone post whatever they want. Okay, you'll see why as you do it, because when you do turn on admin post approval, what happens is people are less likely to post things because they feel like they have to go through some kind of gatekeeper, and it's not an instantaneous. It's not instantaneous. So if I post something and I don't see it show up right on the wall, I'm like, well, who knows if it'll ever show up? I'm probably not coming back here. So if they see it show up directly in the Facebook group, they see, I can post anything and get answers immediately. I don't have to go through any admins. Don't assume what your audience wants. So when you're starting the group, ask things like, hey, what kind of content would you like to see? What kind of posts do you guys appreciate? What don't you want to see? What do you guys, how can I make the group more valuable? Just ask them all these questions, okay? And don't let anyone in at this point, okay? Especially you want to really curate the group when you start getting group requests. You want to make it private, okay? So not anyone can join. You have to apply to the group. And then once they join, you want to look at each one of the profiles to make sure that they didn't just join Facebook, that they don't have a cartoon for a profile picture. You know, I noticed a lot of trends when I started the group where I would just know immediately if they have a profile picture with this type of name on it or picture, then I just wouldn't let them in. And that kept the group quality, okay? So let's talk about creating some value. How do you create value in the group? First of all, download and set up a plugin called Group Converts, Chrome plugin. What it does is anybody that submits their email to your Facebook questions, you can send it to a Google Sheet, which you can then send to your marketing automation tool, which builds your list. That's how I built my list initially. You're going to set up your 3 intake questions. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And you want to start conversations on Facebook. That's the key here, is starting some conversations with people and really getting them engaged, because there's not going to be a whole lot of engagement in the group. So you have to create that engagement initially. Here's some ideas for how to build engagement. I call these engagement questions. So ask for opinions, ask for advice, take a contrarian stand, ask for opinions like, hey, what are your guys' thoughts on WordPress plugins? Ask for advice. What is your advice for getting more high value clients? And then take a contrarian stand, something that not many people are saying that people can disagree with. So take a stand. Say your problem isn't conversions. If you're not converting leads, it's not a matter of you're not converting. It's because your offer is not good. Right? So that's like a contrarian stand to what most people say, and then get a conversation started, okay? Interview members, call members up on Facebook and say, hey, can we interview you? We just want to do an AMA, set up theme days, I'll show you what that means in a second. And then you want to write step-by-step posts and share insights. That's what I found in my group worked really, really well is if you guys wanted this result, here's what you need to do, step by step by step by step by step. And then sharing insights, help them look at their problems differently. It's another way to create value in the group without posting articles and videos, because no one has time to watch articles, read whole articles and videos. They want short, quick insights and help. So here's some prompts. Not going to go over those right now. You can watch these later. Do some prompts on how to get kind of posts. Here's some example posts that I've made in the group that you can copy. Here's some themed days. So we have a special offer Friday and we have a launch it Monday. So people can just promote themselves to Kingdom Come on special offer Friday, right? They can post whatever they want on this thread, but they can't post it in the main group because it becomes really spammy. So everyone, if you want to be spammy, here's a post to be spammy, technically, okay? All right, now you want to monetize the group. All right, now here's what's really cool is you can monetize the group from the first member that you get. What I do when I started my group is I asked membership questions. And the 3 questions I asked were, what is your SaaS product? What is the #1 biggest challenge you had? And then drop your email if you want a copy of this lead magnet. Now you can change these questions however you want. My questions now are different than they were when they started because I got so many pains, biggest challenges that I didn't really need them anymore. I knew what the biggest challenges were. So then instead of doing that, I asked another question. But you should ask, if you don't know your audience well enough or you want to get some data on your audience, ask that question. What's your #1 biggest challenge? And then right now what I'm doing is instead of drop your email, if they drop their email into this question number 3, it sent it in a group convert, which sent it into Google Sheets, which sent it into ActiveCampaign. And then they got an email automatically for my tool. I didn't have to do a thing. It said, hey, welcome to the group. Here's a guide that you requested. Download it here. And then I started nurturing them in the emails. You can really do anything you want in these membership questions. Another way to do it is just say, would you like some help getting more leads? And if they say yes, in question number 3, you have someone reach out on Messenger. Okay. All right. So let's talk about generating some leads. So once somebody joins, let's say you're the first member that joins, they answer these questions and you can reach out through email, you can reach out through Facebook and say, hey, thanks for joining. I noticed your biggest challenge was XYZ. I'm not sure if this is something that you're looking for, but would you like some help solving this problem? We actually have, that's what I do is I help people solve this problem. Would you be open to learning more about how I might be able to do that for you? Okay, I'm kind of an introverted seller, so I don't come across really like buy from me, buy. I asked if they're interested in getting help. And that's how I generate my leads. I call Travis Sago, my mentor, calls these hand raisers. And so what he does is I create a post like this, and then I say, if you're interested in more info, put blank in the comments. This is a really, really good post. I'm not going to go through it in detail right now, but the idea here is that I am thinking about doing something. If you'd like more details, or if you'd like me to put it together, would you put blank in the comments? Okay, so it's gauging the interest before you actually create the product. Hey, I'm thinking of putting it together. I'm thinking of adding an extra 15 days to our free trial of XYZ tool, which helps you do this. If that's something that you'd be interested in, would you leave free trial in the comments? And then you reach out to each person individually and make sure that you're reaching out from your page so that you have a community manager can actually do that for you. Here's some other posts, really good. I'm not going to go through these in detail. Travis Sago, this is an incredible post that I want you to read all the way through. What he did is he actually created this huge long post, and then at the end he says, if you'd like more details, PM me in the comments, or click the link in the comments, and that links to his Facebook Messenger, his page, so he can have his team manage the leads. And let me just show you an example of a chat conversation that I had recently with a member of one of these groups. This is so valuable, guys. Like if you just took this script and you did it for your own product or service, I guarantee you start getting leads immediately. He asked, when I joined the group, he said, hey, you commented on our post that you wanted a copy of this. Do you still want this? Great, here it is. He just linked to it right here. If you'd like, I'm happy to jump on a quick 10 to 15 minute call to see if there's anything else that I can send you, right? And he says, there's no pitch, I promise. And in that call, when I had that call, he said, hey, it looks like you're really having a challenge. You really want to do this. We have somebody that can help with that. Can I connect you with him? And then I got on another call with someone else. And the whole process was really smooth, and didn't feel salesy at all, and it was really natural, and I loved it. And you can do that with everyone in your group, no matter what. Even if you only have 100 members in your group, you can monetize that, okay? All right, so quick review. So first of all, identify your dream customer. Build around a pain, passion, or outcome or niche. Invite them at their congregation point. So wherever they're at, invite them to the group. Give everyone a VIP experience, create value, and then monetize your group, okay? Let me just answer a few questions you might have after going through this. You might have a few questions, okay? All right, what if I don't have the time to manage or build a group? Then hire a community manager. That's one thing I wish I would have done a long time ago, is hire someone who loves people, who loves building communities, and just have them run the group for me and do all these things for me, because it took so much time initially. It did, and it was worth it. It was worth the investment. But if you don't have the time right now, hire somebody to do it. And a community manager will not cost you a lot, and they can do it part-time. It might even be somebody on your team already that can do that, okay? Number two, I'm not sure how to monetize it, okay? Well, don't worry about that right now, okay? Because I didn't know how I was gonna monetize my group either, but when I started getting people in the group, opportunities started coming to me. People started asking me to be on podcasts. It was really great, okay? I didn't even need to worry about that. I worry about that later. What if I don't know enough in the industry to be an expert? Well, the group is gonna make you an expert, because you're gonna have now a community of people that you can talk to and dig into their pains, identify their challenges, so that you can create an offer for them. What if my customers aren't on Facebook? Well, then do it on something else. Okay, this is a community management. I mean, this works for any type of community. You might have to tweak things based on what you're doing, the LinkedIn or Slack or whatever, but go to where your customers are. I only did Facebook because it was easy for me, and my customers were there already. Okay. What if I'm afraid I won't be able to engage the group? Okay, that happens. But remember, your job right now is to engage each one individually until the group gets big enough where it starts to engage itself. I don't do anything in my group now. At about 2,000 members, I didn't have to do anything in the group. People were just commenting and suggesting things without me having to do anything. Okay, well, what if no one interacts with my stuff that I'm posting? That's great. It means that you're not posting the right types of things. So keep testing. Test different types of content, images, videos, mix it up until you get a lot of engagement, and then start doing more of that, okay? What if I'm not a writer or a people person? Hire someone to do it. Remember, you don't need to do this yourself. It's not a rocket science. You can do it yourself, or you can have someone else do it for you, because there's people out there that would die to get paid to run a community, okay? What if no one joins and it's a waste of time? You're still gonna get a lot of value out of this. Starting a community, identifying your dream customers, you're still gonna get a lot of value. It's not gonna be a whole waste of time. And chances are, if you do this right, you're gonna grow a community that's gonna really grow. And the other question you might be asking is, what if this whole thing is a fad? What if communities are a fad and Facebook, communities go away, or LinkedIn communities? I'm telling you, there is no bigger need right now than community engagement and people finding groups of people like them where they can discuss and talk to each other. At some point, it might be virtual reality, but right now it's these types of groups. So don't worry about this going away. Communities and groups will never go away. That's a core of human society, just a matter of where they're being hosted, okay? All right, so the next questions I have for you is, first of all, do you want to create a group? You have to commit to it. Okay, don't just say you're going to create a group and then go at it half-hearted. You really want to give it your all if you're going to go after this group, or give the outcome to someone on your team to do. Figure out who's going to run it. You have to establish that right off the bat. And then what I want you to do is tell me, what is your next step going to be? Write this down. Do you want to create a group? Yes or no? If you don't want to, that's awesome. There's plenty of other things that you can do to grow your business. You have to find something that fits with your character, with your personality, with your goals. For me, a Facebook group just made sense. I just love it. I love running a Facebook group. Okay, not many people do. If that's not the case, then don't start a Facebook group. Okay, just go do something else, and then find out who's going to run it, and then make your next step. Your next step is going to be identifying the pain or a passion. It might be getting a list of people that you want to reach out to. If you already own a group, it might be to go out and start creating more engagement posts, or one of those hand raisers, whatever you want. Okay, just take the next step and try something new. I hope this was really valuable for you. If you decide to start a Facebook group, go into SaaS Growth Hacks, go into the communities that I've already mentioned, and follow what those community managers are doing to get more advice and to see what's working. And if you do, invite me to your Facebook group. I love joining groups and being a part of communities. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on this Ad World presentation, and enjoy the rest of the sessions, and take care.